Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Are there any Michaels in the building? I can be heard. This is wonderful. I love when people can hear my voice. Just ask my wife. But where is Michael? That is a great question. Hi, everyone. I tried to talk to you earlier, probably for the Dayman handoff and before the Spyro run, and I was just sad because nobody was responding to me. I thought you guys were just ignoring me and had your own things going on, but apparently you guys just couldn't hear me. So I guess that makes sense. But I hope everybody's having a great evening. I hope you all enjoyed the... Oh, you did hear me on the handoff. Interesting. Tech stuff is weird, man. I think next year we just all go to one building, all the viewers too, and we can all just watch it in one spot. Minimal tech issues. I heard CJ has a new job. He can probably afford to fly out a couple thousand people, right? Guys, I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am for the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom run. I loved that game, and I haven't watched a run for it at all yet. But it is in my top 20 games of all time for sure. I enjoyed that game so much. Link to the Past is a great game too. I am excited for that one as well. I have seen that one more, so I have less intrigue of what's going to happen. But Glenn is always going to do a great job, which is why we consistently have him back. Alright, I have been told that we are ready. All of the tech issues has made us stay on schedule, and we'll get to watching Glenn play some games, and I'm so excited for it. See you on the other side.
I was in shock when I took this photo. I've been to a lot of war zones and disasters, but I've never been in a situation where as far as the eye can see, every building is rubble.
It's important to show this, just to show more than anything, the work that's being done by African doctors.
Often as photographers, we bring our own thinking and ideas about what we want to capture, but especially with children, their unique personalities. And I think by giving them tools to create their own art, I think we can actually learn a lot more about them and who they are, and that they can show and say something to the world.
All right, everybody, here we are with Glenn and his commentator, Chex. Go ahead and take it away, Glenn.
Hello, I am Glenn. I'm here to run The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past 100%. Major glitches. Joined by Chex.
Hello, Glenn.
Hello.
And I'm Chex. I am a speedrunner of this game. And you're Glenn.
Prestigious max percent no portals world record holder.
Thank you.
Alright, I guess we can just take it away. Ready on a countdown?
Yep, we should be good.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, have fun.
Thank you, thank you. Alright. So this run, spoiler alert, very, very, very broken. This game has a ton of glitches. See the first thing about a couple minutes in, a half to a couple minutes in. First up, same old, same old. We're gonna go wake up, follow our uncle, get the sword. And then we're gonna get out of bounds really quickly after that. Maybe we should talk a bit about what 100% entails for this week.
Sure, it's your maximum level items and equipment. There will be no bomb and arrow upgrades, though. So, you'll be also collecting things like pieces of heart, but things like that and some other items that come from chests don't necessarily come from the chests that you open them from. We'll get to that, though.
Yeah, we do have a source requirement for items. It may be a bit weirder than you'd expect, kind of because of legacy reasons, I guess, but we get everything properly. Quotation marks.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna save Zelda to end the rain. The rain has kind of a weird effect on the game, so we're gonna do that quickly by getting out of bounds into what we call EG. So
we're seeing Glenn make small movements to clip this rail, and Glenn is using down left. He has to use it down left, but he can buffer this one frame movement by using the select menu. He just has to start and stop. Start and stop.
And then we get onto the wrong layer. Now I'm under the floor, and I just jumped in the pit there, which does something called firming EG. That's basically storing the ledge jump, and the next time Link lands on the ground, it's going to change its layer again to the lower layer. That'll happen the next time I take damage, which, just to be safe that it doesn't happen too soon, we're going to take this from a very safe way. Kill that guy, and then kill this guy with pots. It's very easy to get hit by the ball and chain guy if you just go up and slash him.
You got caught. You did manip him a little bit by picking up a pot from the right side, and that triggers the guard to come forward.
Yeah. So now after that, I'm going to just save and quit and reload, and I'll respawn right back in the cell, but the ball and chain guard will be spawned again and he'll hit me immediately. So now I'm once again under the floor. We're going to bring Zelda to Sanctuary. Now she says we're going to take the secret passage. Where am I? I'm not used to the visual cue doing it this way.
This is the super secret passage.
Yeah.
Even the player doesn't know where it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so once... This is kind of probably the slowest section of the run, just getting through escape. Usually for speedruns of this game, regardless of the category or the glitches involved, this is kind of just like one of the chores you have to do early on. Not one of the more interesting parts of the game. But after this, we're going to get into doing the first proper dungeon. You know, if you consider this kind of a tutorial.
Yeah. This is the EG tutorial.
The EG tutorial. Another quick cutscene here. So this cutscene just activates on a timer after you enter the room. Basically, the timer has to count to 0 and the priest has to be loaded in. The cutscene to start. So you can just trigger it out of bounds and then save and quit. Get back to Link's house. So now we're going to head over to Eastern Palace. And we're going to get to do some glitching on the way there, but we're still a little bit of the ways out from doing a lot of the more powerful stuff. We'll see that afterwards. I'm going to be doing a clip here to get into Eastern faster. There's going to be a citrus clip, which is a useful technique to clip in the open world before boots. You'll see in a little bit that after I get boots, it'll be a lot easier to clip.
The key to citrus is you can push Link 3 pixels into a wall. Is it 3? Maybe it's 2, actually.
2, yeah.
Yeah.
Just jump around the screen there, and then I'm at the entrance. Just like that.
Nice screen wrap. And coming up next is Quadrant Glitch. So we're going to see Glan hold out his sword and tink it against a cannonball here. And so this does something with your position in the room.
Yeah,
and so transitions will be broken here.
Yeah, this is all just magic. Don't worry too much. Anyway, we're here at the big key. I have to be a little bit careful about my position here. If I go too low and move the camera too far, then this transition won't be stable. But as long as I do it right, like this, I'll get my collision back with sprites, and everything will be stable again, and I can just continue the dungeon.
That's the really neat thing about this trick. Quadrant glitches are sort of known to be difficult to deal with and can be just bad glitches that occur to players. But this particular setup gets our sprites back and we can complete the dungeon like normal.
There's so many clips of rando players doing it by accident and not knowing what happened. But it turns out to actually be useful sometimes. The rest of the dungeon is fairly normal. Just like a few kind of combat action rooms until we get to the boss.
We have our bow to take care of the red Igors and to take down the Armos Knights quickly. So we need it because it's 100%.
Well, technically we only need silver arrows, but you get those without the bow anyway. So for Armos here, I messed up, never mind. explain the strat. It's, why was he facing left?
Because we're off script. So Link is going to do whatever he wants.
Really bad. Okay, that's not how that's supposed to go at all. I used the lamp a couple times there. That's to set up something in memory for a trick a little bit later. We cover that a little bit closer to when we get there. Just remember that. It wasn't for no reason. I think I got those arrow drops. Hey, fire sword damages Armos. Would have been fine. Would it? Actually, we do need some arrows. Alright, I'm probably gonna get Meyer arrows. So now we got the Pendant of Courage. We can go get Pegasus Boots from Sahasrahman. Pegasus Boots, obviously a super nice item that you dash quickly, but it's also really, really useful for a lot of glitch setups and clips and stuff like that. And since he was so nice to give us his boots, we're gonna rob him before vanishing into thin air.
We're gonna see so many glitches involving the boots. And one is coming up in the next segment too. And should we talk about that? I'm so excited.
Yeah, we can.
I can't wait one more second. If I asked you to get half magic without the magic powder, could you do it?
Oh, we'll see. Yeah, that'll be pretty soon. So, kind of how this run's going overall, we're not actually going to do a lot of dungeons in the first half or so. It's going to be a lot of item collection and then a lot of dungeon completion. So we got like a couple segments of just kind of pure item collection. This is the first one. Grabbing the mushroom here. And here we're going to go back into EG. We're going to do something called a bomb clip. Which makes a lot of underworld clips really easy. So if you just place the bomb in the right spot, and dash into it, it can clip you into diagonal lines. But here we're actually going to go and get half magic. This is a very new addition to the route. This might be messed up. But you can't lift down, I think it'll be... So here we used a form of fake powder, where I did an item dash with the bow. Alright, we're fine. Yeah, you can explain it.
And then you switch to mushroom. Yeah, it's a fake powder. A lot of people are familiar with a minor glitch using the mushroom and cane of Samaria, that is. But we don't need the cane. We can pull off the fake powder with just the mushroom and an item dash. And there's the cane, but I'm glad we picked things up in this order. But yeah, that other method I mentioned also requires you to use your entire magic meter, so that's not very convenient.
Yeah. This is literally, we rerouted this on Wednesday, 2 days ago. That's not good. That is not good. Please get away from... I was stuck on the...
Oh no! That's not a common place to maneuver Link. So, did you try to move up, but the conveyor was pushing you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was extremely unlucky. Well, wouldn't be a marathon
without something that's never happened before.
I have died to that slug before, but not in a long time. Yeah, that slug does 4 hearts of damage, so it kills you instantly at this point. He dropped a bomb, like, right as I was dashing into him.
Yeah.
That was... Can you select bombs, please?
One thing I like about this setup is that the sprites are sticky, So your diagonal movement stops at contacting the thief. So that's the point at which you can position yourself going right and then dashing in to the bomb.
Yeah. Kind of glossed over cave state a bit here.
Yeah.
So
you have... Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so basically, in this game, there are dungeon IDs that get loaded. So it kind of just tracks like what interior you're supposed to be in, while all of the interiors are kind of on the same map, so to speak. I lost count. Is that enough? I don't know. Might have to reload again.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, so
Oh, that was good.
we wanted 7 STCs there, so we had to count the number of times Link uses the glitch.
Yeah, so we're doing a trick here called Samaria Transition Corruption, which is basically trying to hit a screen transition while Link is stuck inside a Samaria block. And it loads the next room, sort of, without actually moving you there. Wait. Oh, I forgot what I was...
Uh-oh. So
Maybe I should have practiced.
So
Wait, am I
we're
just stuck now? Can I get back there?
Well,
Wait.
I don't know.
Should be fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
the camera's too broken.
Oh, you can't get up through that door. Okay. Yeah.
Alright, well, we're gonna
okay.
reload again.
Yeah, so this is the part of the segment where we pick up Hookshot and Moon Pearl. And so the way the dungeons are mapped out is, first of all, they're all on a big underworld map, but we can see that Hera is adjacent to Swamp. So we get the hook shot from Swamp, and then we go up through a transition that places Link up a tile in Hera, and so we should be able to simply reach Petting Zoo, as it's known, but that's the room where the pearl is, so we can hookshot across the gap to get there.
Mm-hmm. I was so frazzled by the slug death, I think I messed everything up. Loot's here. Alright, so let's run through this again. I'm gonna kill one of the slugs for a bomb. Please don't do this. Why are they doing this? That's crazy.
Blocked. Okay, this is a little dangerous, but I like it. I love fighting slugs.
Come here.
With fighter sword.
Not coming here. This is just...
Is it possible to get a bomb in Hera, or do we need that?
Well, I'm down 2 bombs.
Fair.
Problem. Well.
It's okay if we go up by accident.
Yeah, it's okay if you go up once.
So this is another citrus clip, by the way, and this positions Link to teleport down. But
Exactly what I need to do. That should
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I bet it'll still work, though.
be fine. Yeah, that's what I was supposed to do. But I was just, I don't know, out of my mind from dying to a slug.
So that's Moon Pearl collected.
All right, we're back on track. We're back on track. Sort of.
So what's next?
We're going up to Death Mountain. So we
So
got.
do we collect mirror here?
Yeah, we do. So we got some of the major items there. Hookshot and Samaria especially will be really, really broken together, as we'll see in a little bit. Moon Pearl is also a very important item, just in general. I think we have early. We need the mirror. Another thing we have early. We did a clip there called DMA.
Yeah, Death Mountain Ascent. So fast it already happened, and it skipped your glove requirement.
Yeah, we're not going to get the power glove, we're only going to get the Titan's Smith. Put Lulu on the screen. There.
Hi, Lulu.
Okay, so now we're going to get up to the top of the mountain. We're going to do a clip here, and once again wrap the screen to the entrance of Tower of Hera. We can enter and leave. Actually, I'm gonna go get another bomb here.
Yeah, that's right.
I probably don't need it though. I guess I can't read. Oh. Don't know what the geometry. Wow, I got 1.0.
Right. And so we are playing on the Japanese 1.0 version of the game, which has lots of glitches we can take advantage of. But there's a few side effects, including being able to take damage while falling down a pit.
That is beneficial.
It is beneficial, yes. We do want to use that, and we'll see that later before Argus.
So now we're going to do Death Mountain Descent. So these two, like Ascent and Descent paired together, is extremely useful for being able to access the Dark World early. The only one that doesn't require gloves or beating Aghanim, like the only portal, is the one on Death Mountain. So if we can get up there without gloves and then get off the mountain, which you can't normally do, then we can just get to the Dark World. Okay. Now we're in the proper Dark World here. I fix my camera now that she decided to leave.
Are the square tiles and discoloration? Everything's fine.
Yeah, that's just a tile set that didn't get a chance to unload the Death Mountain tile set. Grab a little bit of money here. We will need money for some things, but we'll also have a good source of money later. So now coming up, we're going to make use of that memory that we said earlier with the lamp. By doing a hook push. You want to talk a little bit about hook pushes?
Sure. So we have the ability to manipulate linked items and put them in different slots. And one thing we can take advantage of is the direction and distance of a hook shot. And so, as we can see, Link went way to the right into where the brewery is. And we can pick up the red boomerang there.
Yep, second try.
Nice.
That is
pretty good luck.
Pure RNG. It's a 1 in 8 chance. The second try is pretty good.
Yeah, way better than taking 84 tries.
84 tries. We're gonna be doing Thieves Town next, but we're gonna break this dungeon a lot, as is tradition. So first we're gonna just hop into EG there. A pretty easy rail clip. Much easier than the one in Hyrule Castle. And we're gonna go grab some
Did you say
items.
you found that?
I did find that. I found that by messing around on the GBA version.
That's great.
And I decided to check if it worked on SNES. Well, not the whole rail clip, more like the getting into the position for it this way.
That particular rail clip works sort of the same. We just have to stop Link before he hops off.
Yeah. So we're gonna first head over to GT, and we're gonna grab the big key and red mail. So we're gonna do a weird shot here, which is another misslotting thing, like the hook push.
So do we want a slot 9 bomb here?
In this case, it's a slot 8 bomb.
Okay.
And then if we use the hook shot in like 5 memory slots below the bomb, then it interacts with the other layer of collision, so we can use it to hook shot out of EG. And it's really useful because there's a lot of hook-shottable collision all over the place in this game.
Ignore the fact that we walked through the Ice Armos room with no boss
ice.
and the water. It was in place of ice.
Now we get the red mail. We have the red mail and half magic early. This run is easy mode.
Yeah.
We're gonna use a hook push again to get back into EG. I guess not. Okay, I know how to fix this. That should work. Okay.
Go.
Back
Flare changes to the lower layer.
So I'm doing a movement setup here so I can bonk into some collision and place Link right against the top of the screen, right against the screen transition, because this room pops him back onto the upper layer, and then I can get kicked by the solid collision into the screen transition, get into here. So now I can get the hammer, if I can pick up a bomb. That's fine, actually. I don't really need any more bombs. No, actually, I need 2 more bombs. Not fine. No, it's fine. I have exactly enough bombs. So one nice thing, kind of about how dungeon IDs work. We started to talk about it with Cave State before. But dungeon items like keys and big keys and stuff just get added to the inventory based on whatever dungeon ID you have. So all of those, because I entered from Thieves Town, I didn't leave Thieves Town, they all got added basically to my Thieves Town inventory. Grab this bomb. So that means that I actually have the big key of Thieves Town instead of the big key of Ganon's Tower. I actually want a magic drop here, right? It actually doesn't really matter. We can't lift that block because we don't have the power gloves yet, but luckily we don't need to. We can just kill the enemies and go this way. The Titan's Mint, which is the final upgrade of lifting, so we don't need to get the intermediate upgrade of power glove.
Also a fun part where normally in this dungeon we would be breaking the floor of the attic and then letting the light shine down into the boss room where we'll take the maiden, but we're doing it sort of in reverse order. We can just grab the maiden first, go into EG, and then look for the attic.
Yeah, the attic bomb floor is kind of special because it's the only one that actually like stays open forever after you hit it. Other bomb holes close again when you reload the room. And we can also hit it from the lower layer. Hopefully that worked. Okay, so we set up a weird shot with the bomb right beside the hole, so that it would hit the hole and I can get into it and then fall right into the boss room. I can also barely see the screen. Thank you, Lulu.
I thought you were going to talk about how you have the screen halfway loaded onto the...
I guess that too.
In the screen.
It's a compounding issue.
Well, the camera's directly on Link, so that's
I need to
actually
be careful
perfect.
here. Oh, I need to be really... Yep. Oh, this is going great.
So that's a harder fight because blind starts way up high on the screen, so you have a harder script to deal with.
A lot of things happening right now that have never happened. Well, I can't say they never happened, but... But yeah, since we actually have the big key, I can just get back to the boss. It's not a huge
Yeah, that
deal.
That is convenient.
Except that we have to fight the boss kind of off script now, so to speak. This is a scripted boss, we call it, because there's not actually any RNG in it.
Yeah, just a lot of chaos.
Yeah, I don't know about this. I don't know about this.
Oop.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Third time's the charm.
I don't know. I'm gonna use Samaria this time.
Ooh. Samaria strats.
Yeah, so blind is peculiar in that there are, I believe, 4 items, including the sword, that can hit him, and they all do the same damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes 9 hits total, 3 on each phase. Uh-oh. No.
Ow!
He really dodged at the end there.
More like I had a massive skill issue. Well, you know what? It's content. We all donate per blind death. Get out of here. This is actually ridiculous.
Block punt is a funny thing. It's sort of an underutilized mechanic.
Very nice when you can cane dash and you can just... Alright, you know what?
Well done.
Cool. Anyway, that's Thieves Town. Yeah, this fight's a little bit annoying as well. Like, red mail doesn't really help because the fireballs do 1 heart of damage to you no matter what tunic upgrade you have. So... Yep.
I do want to call out how you were able to use your bombs exactly to blow up the bomb floor as well as popping back onto the upper layer.
Yeah, if I miss that, like, you can just mirror and go back, but it is kind of an... I'm equipping hookshot out of spite. Do this, even though I could just use my sword. Oh, wait.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that. So we are in the light world because we have not yet defeated Aghanim. And so in that situation, if we take a death, the game is gonna place Link in the light world. So any screen transition will take Link back to a light world screen. But we can still mirror when we're in that state, and on that screen it was a fake dark world screen.
That hard. No, it doesn't matter.
So,
Oh.
thankfully with Mitts, you're back in dark world.
Yeah.
Pretty
All right.
quickly.
Now we're gonna be collecting a bunch of items again, but we got our other RNG minigame coming up. I love that. I don't understand that. Every time I think I understand how to avoid that, it happens again. Alright, so we get the flute here. Which is an ocarina, but it's called a flute because they didn't think Americans would know what an ocarina is.
Right. I guess it's just unspecific enough to work.
now we gotta go to the digging games. This is the other RNG minigame to get a heart piece. You're given 30 seconds to dig as many times as you can. Every dig from the 25th and onward has a 1 in 32 chance to give you a heart piece. Which, with good strats, gives you about a 1 in 3 chance per attempt at the game to win. So, let's see. Basically, we want to just like keep it tight and dig whole rows like this.
I just thought it was kind of weird that the digging game is right next to the screen where you get a shovel. But they're completely unrelated side quests.
Alright, cool.
Nice, first try.
Good RNG is bailing me out of absolutely abhorrent mistakes. Still make estimate, maybe. So yeah, we're gonna just steal this guy's heart piece. Normally, if you mirror in there, he's like, oh, you can't sneak it right in here, you have to do it legitimately. But if you go from out of bounds over there, just steal it. Can't stop you.
Mirror bonking back is a very fast way to do that. It's a deceptively difficult positioning for Link.
Alright, here's where I have to take damage intentionally. This is for a trick coming up in like a minute or so. Called hook shopping. But first, we gotta return the smith. He was a frog and now he's not. I think he would have been better off as a frog, actually. Wish I was a frog. So we're gonna set this up to get the tempered sword from them. The game doesn't actually make you have the Master Sword in order to get the Tempered Sword, you just have to not have the Tempered Sword. So you can temper nothing. You can literally go to him swordless and get the Tempered Sword. Pretty cool.
Or you can temper the fighter sword. And we do get maximum sword upgrades, that's the gold sword, but we really need the tempered sword. There's no way around it, because we need tempered to get gold.
Yeah, but we actually only have the tempered sword for about 2 minutes. Which is pretty incredible. Ooh.
Yeah, that is incredible considering you have to defeat Cold Stare and Vitreous and pick up the super bomb and take it to the pyramid.
How do we do it? How does he do it? So there's a bunch of stuff to get in Kakariko. We're splitting it up in 2 basically. So we're gonna loop back later to here and then go north. And get the north stuff later, the south stuff now. Doing this now because you have to leave the screen and come back to get the tempered sword, so it's a perfect chance to get all this stuff in Kakariko here anyway. This is hook shopping, so I'm gonna use the hook shot and then buy the recovery heart. And that's gonna get the hook shot just stuck against the torch, and then by filling up all the spaces with objects and then trying to use the hook shot again, we can activate it, but relative to where Link is now standing, and just get through the wall there and get Ice Rod.
Hook shopping.
Hook shopping. Grab our tempered sword, and then we're gonna have a very big hook push sequence coming up here. We're gonna grab a bunch of stuff from nearby underworld rooms, starting from the hammer pegs. I forgot to time this, but we're gonna do it now, just fun. Bring the chest a little closer.
Okay, okay. Reroute.
This was previously one of the more intimidating sections of this run. But now that we have half magic for it, it's not as scary.
Oh yeah, true.
there's more going on than I could possibly explain, but we're doing some memory manipulation, some big hookshot movements.
Yeah, I'm oftentimes not good at explaining this, but a lot of the stuff is Link is putting Ancilli on the screen to fill up slots, and then there's a counter that runs through that is going to be the duration of the hookshot.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to have all those values non-zero so they can run through.
Yeah. The shortest explanation I could give as to like why hook pushing works at all. Surely it'll work if I just keep trying.
Yeah, I love that.
Basically, all these objects, as Check said, are called ancillas that you can kind of spawn from your items. And there's essentially what we call front and back slots. And certain ones are not supposed to be in the back slots. The ones that kind of have more complex behavior. And so, because of that, if we put them into back slots, it ends up messing up a bunch of stuff because the memory wasn't mapped out to essentially accommodate for that. And we can use that to just manipulate a bunch of things. Including, changing the, changing which, memory addresses the hookshot is reading to determine where to move Link. But yeah, we go grab the magic powder here.
Yeah.
Which is
Well
used to
done.
get half magic.
You got your hammer pegs heart piece, your checkerboard heart piece, your pyramid items, Cane of Verna, and the Book of Medora. And now finally powder.
Yeah.
But we're not really going to use the powder, are we?
No, we already got half magic, so... So here's another weird one. I'm gonna be hook pushing myself inside this door. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna allow me to do an STC to the east, which is gonna load the Mimic Cave room and put the Mimic Cave heart piece into that chest. Now, like, that might not seem like I'm getting it from the proper source, but the way it works is that when you open that chest, it actually does open the chest in Mimic Cave. And if I were to come back in here, that chest would be closed again, and I could open it for the normal contents. So we did actually open the Mimic Cave chest, we just kind of did it remotely. And that's going to save us from having to go in there. Which is a bit of a shame in a way, because I like the execution in there, but it's faster. We saved Joel from drowning, you're so right. We actually saved Pride Joel specifically. Yeah, we're gonna be jumping around some cliffs here, grabbing a few things here.
Some cleanup in the desert area.
So you may have noticed that all of our clipping involves diagonal walls. It's just due to a quirk of kind of how diagonal collision works. Collision in general is made of 8x8 blocks that are either solid or passable. But in order to get diagonal walls, they basically have to have them be technically passable tiles that just modify Link's movement based on his position and D-pad input. And we end up being able to abuse that to just kind of clip in weird ways.
I don't know why it's something we can manipulate, really, but the fact that it's made that way is really nice, in my opinion, because the gameplay of dashing around diagonal walls makes it a really fluid game.
Yeah,
and just in terms of gameplay.
Yeah, it's really fun to just run around and clip around everywhere. One thing that's very weird though is that overworlds and underworld diagonal walls are different. So
Yeah.
overworld walls, you're able to, we call dash buffer to get into them, where you kind of move and press A at the same time. But you can't do that with underworld walls for some reason. I don't know why that.
We bomb. I don't know why that happens either. It just is annoying.
So in the underworld, we have to do things like bomb clips, like we saw earlier. I'm going to do another bomb clip a little bit later as well. So you're supposed to bonk that open, but you can just face sideways and press A and it'll open. Because video game. It just checks that like you're dashing and touching it. So.
Like how everything is programmed slightly differently.
It's pretty great. Pretty terrific. You know, I did not check how much money I had after digging game. I'm glad I had enough. Oh.
Right.
Spin speed there.
That's a thing.
So,
and one of my last no portals game I got all the way to Kiki to pay to get into Palace of Darkness, and I was somehow 80 rupees short.
80 rupees.
I had not looked at my rupees.
Oh god.
So coming up is a difficult hook push. Or maybe it's not difficult, but you do need to be on the furthest pixel.
It is very scary, so you get exactly enough distance to make it. And if I mess up my buffering there, kind of as the hookshot is grabbing it, I can accidentally like move down for a frame, and then I won't be able to make it to the transition. I'll just be stuck and have to save and quit. But luckily that didn't happen, because things are going okay, unlike the first half of the run. Got one more heart piece here. Well, to throw a bomb before opening the chest there, kind of strat. And now we're finally going to be doing more dungeon completion. After all of that, we've only beaten 2 dungeons so far. 3 if you count escape. Out of a lot more than that.
But it's pretty fast to chain dungeons together, because we're going to take advantage of defeating bosses while in other dungeon states.
Yeah,
and that takes us to the next dungeon.
Here. For Skull Woods, we're going to drop down this hole, and we're going to use another STC here, which is going to be a really fast way to get the big key. Normally you kind of have to go around, enter a different part of the dungeon, do a really annoying room button, but we can just go here, STC here, and then the room north of this has the big key, up here in this chest. And then, because it thinks we're north, it's going to transition us as if we were in that north room and end up here. And because the camera's broken, we have to exit and enter, but that's not a big deal.
Fixed. So you're setting up a hook push here, but also you need to get the fire rod, so don't forget that.
Yeah. I love these old worms. Every day they find a new way to stray further from God's light. So,
meanwhile, the Bari just runs into your slot 9 block.
Yeah.
And splits itself in 2.
So here we're going to actually go fight Helmasaur instead of Mothula. Just the boss of the Palace of Darkness.
And these are weird shots that pop Link back into the upper layer.
Yeah. Which we did name them after Ocarina of Time. The glitch in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, where you can hookshot from under the floor. It's basically the same thing. Great.
Sounds good enough to me.
So we beat Helmasaur here, but if you're remembering from before, our dungeon ID didn't change. We're still in Skull Woods according to the game, so that means that the crystal that drops here belongs to Skull Woods. This is Crystal 3. But because we beat Helmasaur, we're going to actually exit from Palace of Darkness. We're going to be able to go right back in, and then we can go from there and fight Mothula. And it's really convenient for these two dungeons, especially because they're so close together on the map that we can just really quickly alternate between them, and it saves a lot of overworld travel from having to get to the dungeon entrance. Palace of Darkness is kind of far out of the way.
Yeah.
So the door's not open, but we can go in anyway, because doors are suggestions, walls are suggestions, floors are suggestions.
Hold down to go up.
Yeah. And right here, we're right back in Skullwoods. Now, astute viewers may know that Mothula cannot be damaged by the gold sword, except by poking him. Anyway.
Nice.
The haters said we couldn't do it.
It was convenient that you were able to poke Moth directly into the block on the bottom, because we can't knock the Moth into spikes either.
Yeah, it's all a very weird mess of... They probably didn't spend long enough developing this part, honestly. But yeah, there is a mechanic where you can knock enemies into spikes, and it does like a different amount of damage than like the spike damage, and it overrides the sword damage. They didn't want that to happen to Mothula, so they made him take 0 damage from spikes, which just means that a lot of the time you hit him, it doesn't do any damage because he gets hit with the spikes. Hello, Lulu.
I don't know. I think everything is programmed exactly perfectly.
Yeah, exactly how Reggie wanted.
Yeah.
This time we're gonna do another hook push. This time on the overworld.
I was just gonna ask, can we do an overworld hook push? And
Sure
the answer
can.
is yes. They work the same way.
They work the same way. They're just not usually useful because clipping on the overworld is so easy.
Yeah.
But there are a few spots. Alright, so now we're going to Swamp Palace. This is Swamp Palace. Don't worry about it. Also, this Beamos is... I can't get past this Beamos, dude.
Wait, try to go...
Okay, we did
Okay.
it. We did it. We're safe. We're safe.
Okay, but you only have 1 heart.
Yeah, I actually have 3/4 of a heart. Alright, hopefully I don't... Oh, no, dude.
That's another half
Alright,
heart
anyway,
of
so
damage.
we're doing an SDC there, which has a side effect in some rooms that it creates holes. So it actually created a hole in this little hallway here. And I think that's right. Sometimes I can't tell. And by setting up a bomb to kill me, I didn't need to map because I died a bunch. By setting up a bomb to kill me on the last frame of falling in the hole, it actually loads the destination room. What am I doing? It loads the falling destination room ID, which happens to be the room just to the west of Argus. So now we're fighting Argus. And I'm going to do another Mistonic setup here to skip the pendant fanfare.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah. And then because by Argus we leave Swamp Palace so we can come right back in and claim our Swamp Palace crystal. Yeah, we got the blue pendant.
And it's easy to pick up a crystal here because there's a boss room directly to the right,
Yeah.
and it's Mothula's boss room.
So we had to beat Mothula first. But because we're in the boss room and the boss is dead and we don't have the crystal for this dungeon, it gives us the crystal. Because we beat it, right? Beat Swamp Palace. We did all 2 rooms of Swamp Palace.
Right.
I guess we did another 2 rooms to get the hook shot.
Yeah. That's true.
This is unfortunately the longest crystal cutscene. Do we have any donations? Has anyone donated? People should be donating.
Yeah, I agree. People should be donating. We don't have any donations right this second, but I hope everybody's enjoying this excellent run being showcased by Glenn. And please continue to donate as we had been prior to this run starting. That way we can help save some children.
I like saving children. I also like saving my game and then soft resetting the console.
Right, so that has to do with Plaid World, right? Or
Yeah,
okay.
which is something coming up later.
Oh yeah, you set up a bomb clip here.
Yeah, I think Aeropod, like with the hook shot, can be like a second faster if you do it perfectly. So maybe 2 seconds. I'm bad at it. I just do the bomb.
Well,
clip.
yeah, this is much easier.
Here's Moldorm. Everyone hates Moldorm. He's not so bad with the gold sword, except when he is, which is frequently, apparently. I've gotten middle like twice derusting this.
So there's another
I
fanfare skip.
I messed it up.
Okay.
In theory, there should have been another fanfare skip here. Anyway, that's the whole dungeon of Tower of Hera. I mean, the dungeon's only like 6 rooms anyway, so we're not missing much. Coming back in. Next we're gonna go to Aghanim. Definitely the intended way. So here I'm gonna be doing something called a door juke. So basically, by using the Samaria block in the door, I can snap to positions that are multiples of 8 pixels, which actually, in this case, if I stop messing up, will allow me to snap past the trigger of the screen transition and hit it from the wrong side. And then that's gonna give me a wonky transition over to the left. So now, even though the camera's in the wrong spot, I'm in the room right before Aghanim. And this is Aghanim's boss room, but at the wrong side of it. And because
Diagonal walls are very messed up, and we can just walk through them.
Yeah, because of tile set stuff, the collision's all messed up. I can kind of just walk through these diagonal walls. Get into the fight.
And it's an RNG boss, so there's nothing really to talk about in an NMG run. However, you could do something fancy here, right? You can try to cut out some time from this animation. There we go.
Yeah, once he starts the lightning, if I like unload him and then reload him, it saves like half a second or something. I forget exactly. It might be like 0.7, I don't remember.
Yeah, it feels like more than half a second. That was pretty good RNG.
Well, it's not bad. My PB has 5, so... yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely PB again. It's been a minute since your last PB, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was January 2023. Pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
So we do require completing all dungeons, even both Aghanim fights, even though they don't actually give you a prize. They are still dungeon completion. So do require that.
It looks like our begging was successful. We did get a $5 donation just now from Hyperendemic that says, "Hi Glenn, you're cute."
Gamer Hyper. Probably shouldn't have done the flip here, but it's fine. You know, there's just a chance to soft lock. That's no big deal. No, it's fine. The boulders were really nice today. Which is good, because everything else wasn't.
It makes me nervous when you walk by the screen early in the run, but I know that you DMD to get here later,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
fine.
We gotta go get the lumberjack tree, which is open after Aghanim, but we're actually gonna do a silly little strat here. So I'm gonna clip to almost the screen transition so I can dash past it, and wrap around,
Oh, I
and
love
then
this.
basically skip over a screen and also despawn all the sprites, so the top of the tree isn't there and I can just walk in without bonking it. So the screen that's in between there is like really annoying to traverse. You can't really dash through it. It's like a lot of moving around, and when you hit the tree, it lags a ton. This is just
I
like
forgot
really nice
that
and
exists.
fast. I did too! Until I was derusting this and I was watching my VOD and I was like, wait, what am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we could look into that for RMG, but
Yeah,
I
it should be fine.
yeah, I currently approach that tree from the east side, so
Okay,
it doesn't really work.
So yeah, we're gonna walk around in the clouds a little bit here. You've seen clipping, which has been mainly done with diagonal or downward teleports, but now we're doing upward teleports, which are kind of our ways to clip with diagonal walls. So that just gets me out of bounds into the clouds. I can jump back in. A somewhat specific lineup.
Yeah, I like that you set that
Alright.
up on the previous screen, because I haven't really noticed that before.
Just
It's easier to deal with that wall.
it's not what was supposed to happen, but with that gathering of dead rocks, I'm not upset about it.
Yeah.
So, back into the Dark World here, we're gonna go into Turtle Rock. We're not gonna do Turtle Rock quite a normal way, though. We're gonna
Certainly
be
not.
going into the secret third world of this game, Plaid World. But first, we're gonna get the Mirror Shield, so we can do an SDC there to load the big key into the big chest, and then just go grab the Mirror Shield. We have to mirror to like fix everything. Then yeah, we're fine there. So now I'm gonna be doing a YBA, which is a glitch where we use a potion and hit a screen transition on the same frame. Which has a variety of effects, but here, it brings up the flute menu, which is what we call a fake flute, and I get into Purgatory. And there's infinite money here. I need to get up to 500, that should be enough. And then if
The collision's really weird.
Yeah, if we get into that deep water collision, since we don't have the flippers, it puts me back on land where I was like last on land, and ends up kind of syncing things up again, sort of. So now I can just kind of run around here. So what's happening here is it tried to load it tried to load the overworld collision while I'm in the underworld, and since they aren't really like programmed in the same way, and there's just a lot more underworld data, it just doesn't line up. And a lot of the collision here is based on like some arbitrary memory values and stuff like that. A lot of it's just kind of free to walk through. This is why actually we did the reset after Swamp, because getting Bombos actually sets some memory in a bad spot that blocks us in the route we want to take here.
Mm-hmm.
This way. So we're going to do a bit of a boss rush here. We can interact with sprites normally, but we don't interact with tiles normally. So get to really conveniently just go through, kill some bosses. This is much nicer than EG because I don't have to be on the wrong layer. I actually can like fight stuff.
Rhinox is pretty weird because the whole background moves with him.
Times he gets to attack if we're too slow. And you can probably tell while we were going through what we call a flat world. All the graphics are really messed up. It's basically the Death Mountain tile set. But again, the tile sets don't really line up properly, so it's also just using a lot of garbage data for some things.
Now you're aligning yourself near the top of the screen so that when you transition upwards to Vitreous, you don't desync.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the camera's very weird here, and we have to do some specific routing to not get a bad transition that desyncs us. Takes away our ability to interact with sprites properly. I miscounted, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, so we do a lineup there. It's a 2-pixel window where you can just dash through all the eyes. Yeah, Vitreous is dead. So we got through 3 bosses, and we get the Turtle Rock Crystal here, as you can see from Zelda, and the crystal is having a normal one.
Yeah, I love this crystal. And we got a nice fanfare skip, which seems to have... It seems to be related to there not being any music.
Yeah,
for this
in this case,
section.
it's music. But there's another one we're gonna do right after this, which is camera position based. I don't really understand fanfare skips exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're at a
I don't know the
right
technical details. Oop.
And
all right, back to the real world.
Yeah, because we beat Vitreous, we exit from Misery Mire. And we're gonna go back in so that we can get the crystal from Misery Mire. Really? I swear I said that. I just did it wrong. Okay, so we're gonna do another Cookie G here. So the way we're able to get EG off the hookshot there is actually making use of a kind of unfinished feature that was left in the game, but it's normally unreachable code. But through... I messed this up actually, I'm gonna set this up properly.
Is this a newer route?
Yeah, we got this in on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So if we
There we
scroll
go.
the screen all the way over and then dash in the crystal like just off screen, it ends up skipping the fanfare. It says, I think it was like 8 seconds here or something.
Yeah, and do you know what the unused feature was going to do?
I don't think anyone like knows for sure, but it's basically like a way that the hookshot can interact with things on the other layer. Basically there's like a value that if that value for the hookshot is non-zero, then it will interact with the other layer. But because it's kind of an unused feature, they made it so that the hookshot just sets it to 0 when it gets shot. But by manipulating all the memory and stuff, we're able to basically have the hookshot read a non-zero value and actually use that code again. Which lets us change Link's layer and everything.
So the catfish is normally way out of the way in the far northeast corner of the world, but if we just descend down from Turtle Rock, we can get to it in one transition.
Which I always find a little funny because you're supposed to need Quake to get into Turtle Rock.
Yes.
But then it's also so convenient to just go from Purple Rock down to there after beating it. No! 1 pixel too far.
You were cutting corners so well, but too much puts you in the drink.
Unfortunate, as they say. Buy the flippers for 500 rupees, which luckily we were able to use that infinite rupee farm. Which that was also the result of kind of the weird collision in Plaid World. Just set like a rupee floor, like a rupee room floor tile in that spot that we could just walk over repeatedly. That's how we're able to get infinite money there. Yeah, it's really conveniently just right there where you land from the loot. So we got a couple more things to collect and 1 more dungeon to beat. Well, I guess 2. Thanks, Zora. That really helps the stream out.
I didn't realize there was a Zora there. I suppose it appears after Aghanim's defeated.
Yeah, maybe. So we used to have kind of a cute little overworld routing to chain that in with other stuff, but it's actually just faster to get it and then save and quit.
Oh, really? It always kind of looked slow to me, so that's pretty funny.
So we're gonna get the last heart piece here on the island.
It just goes to show you've always got to time it yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, the funny auto walk thing.
A good staple of A Link to the Past major glitches.
Yeah, when you clip and land on the transition, as soon as you move, Link will do the auto walk.
Gonna do some more EG here. Or not, because they're gonna slide. Love it. Look at that wonderfully full inventory. That is true, Liam. I mean, it's really easy to give, like, game devs flack for things like this, but, like, you know, this game was made in, like, 1990. Like, programming in general was barely a thing, and then on top of that, they did it in assembly and on a new console. So, like, they were really in uncharted territory. The fact that they even made this game at all is pretty impressive.
Shout-outs to the spikes that turn into eyeballs when you transition.
Yeah.
So it's an EG Ice Palace. We're not going into any other dungeon in this segment, are we? I started talking and then I wasn't so sure.
No,
but we are going to
Ice Palace.
Cold Stare.
It's just the last one to do. Yeah, Cold Stare is a very difficult boss. I love that.
Oh, I bet you could have redashed. Because
Maybe.
the door doesn't close until the block lands.
Yeah.
You guys want a fun fact?
Absolutely.
Yes.
This may or may not be true. I looked up what the file size of A Link to the Past is, and
it's 1
it is
megabyte.
just under 1 megabyte. Compare that to a picture that you take on a modern phone. This game takes up less space than
Okay.
The
any
pictures I
one
take are like
picture.
20 megabytes.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a really high resolution camera, or whatever the word is.
Yeah. So you take 20 A Link to the Past in just one photo, and they put all of this in one little cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
So it is pretty crazy how far the world has come in computers.
Yeah, so that was a really difficult boss. He almost got me.
You controlled it. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. So we are rapidly defeating all the bosses, and next up is Aghanim 2.
Yeah, we just got a couple more to do here. So
And this one is hard to get to without EG, so you are going back into EG and then popping back inbounds.
Yeah, so Magnum 2 is actually really close to ice. For a long time we were sort of taunted by how close it is.
Yeah.
But we can get there pretty quickly with an EG and a weird shot. Do another stuck push. Kind of like we saw with hook shopping. And then we can just get past the big key door there.
That's
and
a
now
cool
we're at Magnum
segment.
2. Not whatever that was. Magnum 2 requires 6 hits as well, but with his clones, you can get it in 2 cycles. It's not likely. I believe it was calculated this boss has like 2,000 different RNGs or something. It's a lot.
Oh, I am kind of
Sorry,
curious
Hyper, I didn't mean to
about that.
funny. I might be completely making that number up. Please don't
Yeah.
quote me on that.
Because you would have to limit, you know, the number of cycles. Because I bet that's 2, or, you know, that would be 2 cycles probably.
Yeah. All that's left is to beat Ganon. Technically possible to skip Ganon, but we generally require him to be beaten, just because it's cool. It's more fun that way. A lot of stuff in Link to the Past major glitches, it's more fun that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Because any percent is a minute and a half, because you literally just walk to the end of the game. So, beyond that, every other category is just what's fun.
Right.
Because any percent is not hit.
Yeah, and that's just one goal. You know, we can do a defeat Ganon, all dungeons, or 100%.
Or RBO.
Yep. Swordless.
We also have no EG categories. I don't... Yeah, I didn't trust him to not just be on top of me there.
Yeah, neither did I. I think moving away was the right call.
Alright, nice. At least I got a double. You hit him multiple times. He doesn't actually like stop being vulnerable until he like hits the edge. Alright,
GG's.
time's coming up very soon when I walk in the door. And time.
Nice run.
GG.
Nice run. Now, I completely forgot to mention this whole run, the Glitch Exhibition Center. How's that looking?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that too. We hit that before I even got to hosting, so I forgot about it.
Good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've been on hitting that. So yeah, absolutely.
There is
We were
more
good
Link to
there.
the Past coming up. Should I just get into
Heck
that
yeah.
now, or?
Yeah, that's good with me. Go ahead and do your thing.
Alright. So we're gonna be firing up the practice hack for this.
Thanks everyone for donating while we weren't here.
Mm-hmm.
I did think about promoting it. So you're gonna show off a bunch of glitches here.
Yeah, so we're gonna be showing off a bunch of glitches that are mostly not very speedrun useful.
Mhm. But maybe they're rando useful.
Just gonna do something here. There is a practice hack bug, the light states, so I'm gonna just mirror there and walk back to the boss room. Unfortunately. Alright, so first thing we're gonna show here is a few visual bugs that we can do with blind. These are pretty cool. There is a very niche application for them. But basically, when I move, you'll see that blind is following, and if I dash, it'll take a second for him to catch up. And we can actually do certain things as we enter into the light, and then have the start of the blind fight interrupted. So if I run in here and open the map, then it just interrupts that, and it gets a little bit dark. It's a little dark in here, a little dark and moody.
Like the mood.
Yeah. So we can also do it with the save and quit menu. And this happens. Call this LSD blind, because it looks awful. Look at those bright colors. And this does actually have niche application in that it leaves the door open. Not sure if anything nowadays actually depends on that. But I remember like a couple things. And the last one is probably the worst one of them all, with the mirror. So...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this happens. It interrupts the mosaic transition. And we can actually keep this intact if we end up fighting blind here.
Yeah. It carries through
Mess up the
the
script.
cutscene and the overworld. The overworld is very rough as it recalculates
it's awful.
the squares every frame.
And this isn't like a totally consistent look. Like, depending how early or late you use the mirror, it can look more or less distorted.
Yeah,
Like
this is
dimmer.
a big square version.
Yes, this is what the crystal looks like. Looks about right, doesn't it?
Yeah, who knew the crystal was only 7 pixels big?
I'm just gonna skip the text so it doesn't take so long. So, Link and like other sprites will look normal, but the ground looks like this. Like, you can't even tell where you're going. It's awful.
Oh yeah.
But we can fix it if we just go in and then use the mirror. And it just fixes everything.
You also get a pixelated transition if you go into a place like the Lost Woods or Skull Woods, and it goes away then, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So this next thing, I'm going to be showing is a cool kind of wrong warp called tree warp. So we saw in the run, like through misslotting and all the hook pushing and stuff like that. That's what happens if we spawn too many Ancillas. This is going to be what happens if we spawn too many sprites. So I set my last entrance there at the Magic Bat Cave, and we're going to go back into the Dark World over here. Just to kind of start this setup in the right spot. Hopefully I don't mess this up because it'll crash. But not a huge deal. So it's called Tree Warp, basically because the face of these, like, talking trees is a sprite, and basically we want to load that in once we already have too many sprites on screen.
In fact, there are 3 sprites, aren't they?
Yeah, actually I think it is, because the eyes and the mouth are different sprites. You're right. So, the secret to getting too many sprites is going to be this thief. When he hits me, he's going to knock like my bombs and rubies and arrows on the ground, which are all different sprites. It's going to be a total of 6 sprites that he spawns out. So we just have a little setup here. We're going to grab these cuckoos, and then... yeah, okay, this is good. He's going to hit me here, and then I walk forward, and... oh, something weird happened. Alright, let's just redo the whole setup. I don't know why that wasn't good. Actually, let me I want to show a little thing here. It's funny. So, if this guy drops an item and we scroll the item off screen and then back, then he's just alive again.
But collect the drop and he's gone.
You have to collect the drop for him to be dead. It's just like bosses. You have to collect the heart container for them to actually be dead. At least they were somewhat consistent.
In your previous attempt, I noticed that only 4 things were knocked out of Link, so maybe there are too many sprites on screen or something. Your chicken didn't go the right way.
No, it's really annoying to tame the chickens. gonna start from here. Shouldn't take too long. It's kind of annoying. We have to get like the one to behave while we carry the other one. Ideally, we want him to go down in here. Yeah. Okay. So then he'll stay on screen. All right. There we go. So what happens is it spawns a wall master, quote unquote, and then puts us back at our last entrance. So here. So you saw when I died to blind before, we got fake dark world. So now we're in fake light world. So you can tell from the music that it's actually the dark world, even though we're on a light world screen. Like what world you're in is actually stored separately as like a different value. And overworld transitions are based on that, so if I left this screen, I would be on back into the Village of Outcasts in the dark world. But there's a cool thing that we can do here specifically, which is that the smith in the house and the lost smith, who's the frog, are actually the same sprite that just has a behavior depending on whether you're in light or dark world. So if I go in here, the smith is going to be the frog, as you can clearly see. That's a frog. So he says Caro Caro, he's a frog.
The shirt frog.
Yeah, yeah. See? He's a frog.
Oh yeah, he says Caro Caro, so we know it's a frog.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, we transition here, we're back in Village of Outcasts. I can mirror, he becomes the smith again. But we're not going to actually return him yet. I want to do one other thing. So we're going to actually save and quit, and we're going to go to Sanctuary here. And now Zelda's following me, actually.
Welcome back to the game, Zelda.
Yeah, we're taking Zelda on a little date here. Although, I don't know, I think Zelda has a bit too cushy of a life, right? We need to put her to work. She's never done an honest day's work in her life.
Her movement looks different. It
Don't worry about
might be the movement of your other follower.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
So instead of bringing the smith back, we're gonna just bring Zelda and let Zelda work. And I hope that nothing bad happens to her, like her head disappearing. That would be bad.
No, I don't think...
Oh, no, dude. It happened again. You like your new job, Zelda? I too lose my head when I'm forced to go to work. Anyway, the smith is back there normally. Alright. That's it for that section. So here we're gonna load this one. Now we're in Palace of Darkness, and I have this in Fake Dark World. Specific reason. Now, remember the death hole we did during the run to get to Argus? So we're gonna do that here. This actually used to be a spot we did it a lot in runs, but it got outclassed. So what happens when you do a death hole is that basically on that last frame when you get killed, it's preparing to have Link fall into the next room below. So it moves his Y coordinate to the top of the screen. So right now I'm up here and I can go through the door. And now I'm looking like this. Little fallen guy.
He's falling.
And I can mirror, and we're just falling Link now. And falling Link is very funny. He moves really fast vertically and normally horizontally.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's weird. The rate at which the rate at which he moves down, it is a little bit reminiscent of Link actually falling down the screen.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, now we're back in Light World. So what this actually is this is walking around with a stored pit state. So pit state is a value that basically updates with Link's proximity to a pit. So it's 0 if he's nowhere near a pit, 1 if he's like close but not falling in, 2 if he's like getting sucked in the sides, and then 3 if he's actually falling. So right now we're stuck in pit state 3 here. And that's going to allow us to do something else called water walking. So on the overworld, first of all, pit state doesn't really go away on the overworld when you walk around. But if you manage to have a non-zero pit state, and you jump down a south-facing ledge into water, you're walking on water. That's why we call it water walk.
Very nice.
So this is actually a pretty useful minor glitch in like rando especially. I think it has some niche speedrun use. I'm just going to show one thing. If I take away my flippers, so you can see here that I can kind of just like move around between the deep and shallow water with no change in behavior. With the flippers, once I get to the shallow water, then I go swimming in the deep water again. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of have this like state transition thing happen while I'm dashing. If we do that, now we get into this weird state where I'm walking in this really weird animation.
I love that animation.
And there's something funny about this, which is that the game still thinks that I'm dashing in some capacity. So if I touch a wall, I just bonk. And this lets us do something like this.
As expected.
Infinite bonk. He's going up.
Stop bonking yourself.
This is a soft lock, by the way. So, we're gonna get out of that and do another cool thing here. So we're gonna go down here, and I'm gonna do another YBA. So in the run, we saw one YBA used, which was the blue potion in a sub-tile underworld door, which caused a fake flute.
Oh, I like this.
This time, we're going to do a green potion YBA on the overworld. And in this case, it's not going to do a fake flute, but what it's going to do is it's going to end up kind of loading some properties of the next screen, but also it's going to be really weird in this case because right now we're on a small overworld screen and the desert is a large overworld screen. So, first of all, we're going to get the shady guy following us, and he's mad that we broke his sign because there's no sign anymore. Or I forget what he is. He's like the middle-aged guy or whatever the sign says. So
yeah,
we get some weird collision here, right?
He was a thief.
Yeah.
So he's a locksmith.
But if I open and close the map, you'll see that it actually kind of put me on this screen. Except it doesn't line up exactly with the collision. It's like a tile off. And he's still mad at me. But something cool about this is that it still kind of thinks I'm on the desert. So there's a thing in the overworld called secrets, which are things that can be revealed by digging or lifting rocks or cutting bushes or tall grass. And dark world portals generally work that way, the ones under rocks. So you'll remember that in the desert, in the bottom left, there's a dark world portal under a rock, and it just so happens to line up with this bush that I'm looking at, but the collision's down here. If I cut it, then there's a dark world portal here, under the bush, and we can use it. And it puts us here, into the swamp area, because this is what corresponds with the desert area, even though I wasn't in the desert area. But I'm still here, right? I'm not actually in the swamp area. So, as I mentioned before, overworld transitions are just based on Link's coordinates. So if I go up here and transition, then I'm going to get up to here, which is just above where I was before. So that's kind of the magic wonders of overworld YBAs. Not very useful for the most part, but...
But you can still use it in the Hybrid Major Glitches tournament. If you really want to.
Yeah, I mean, fake flutes are most useful there, right? So I took away my Moon Pearl here, so I'd be the bunny again. And this time we're going to do a blue potion YB in the overworld, which is going to do a fake flute like we saw before. Except this time I'm in the dark world. So it's not going to give us a really weird plaid worldy effects. Instead, it's just going to kind of work normally because we're already on the overworld. Except that I'm going to go to Kakariko because that's where it's supposed to send me, and I'm going to once again be in Fake Light World. That also activates a glitch called Super Bunny. You can see the animation's much faster than normal, and I can swing my sword, and I can dash. So this is kind of like a weird conflicting state where I'm like partially the bunny, partially Link, because I can't use items.
Yeah, Y
except
items.
the ones the bunny normally can use. we're gonna come here and go back. That I'm back in Village of Outcasts. And one thing is that, so basically Super Bunny can do all B and A actions, including grabbing things, like the Thieves Town entrance. But the funny thing about this is that this animation, which is also used for the tree pulls, that's not good.
You can't spin. That's another annoying thing about Super Bunny is it can slash, but it can't spin.
I've played this game before, clearly.
And you can't dash into enemies either.
Yeah. So if I grab this, it's just
upsetting.
gonna turn me into Link. So now I'm just Link. I actually can use my items. Pretty terrific.
I knew you could.
We're gonna go in here. So now we're actually in the Dark World. We're in this dungeon and we're Link, but we don't have Moon Pearl. So if I leave, I'll become the bunny again. And there's a couple funny things we can do with this. The first one is something called Bunny Pocket. So if I do an item dash with this, like this, which is a 1.0 exclusive glitch, the whole time I'm dashing, the game is kind of registering that I'm using the fire rod. So, if I dash out of the door, it's not going to end up, like, removing that value that's saying I'm using the fire rod, because I didn't end the dash normally, I didn't end the item used normally, I just became a bunny. So now, if I use an item that the bunny can use, like the mirror, it's just going to use the fire rod.
Nice hit.
That guy is, he's dead. But you only get one use out of that. It's another thing with some varied niche applications, but yeah. Another thing we can do is another bunny-related glitch called Unbunny Beam. These, like, yellow star things are kind of like a trap that turns you into a bunny temporarily. They're in, like, a few Dark World dungeons. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lure it down here, so that I can have it turn me into a bunny, and then leave the dungeon before it turns me back. And then, I'm just a bunny because I'm supposed to be in the Dark World. But it's still, like, kind of running that bunny beam logic in the background. It wants to turn me back to Link. But it can't do that while I'm the bunny normally, but it can do that while I'm Super Bunny. So I'm going to get Super Bunny another way by using the mirror and entering at the same time. And what's going to happen is it's going to turn me back to Link, as you can clearly see. I'm invisible.
And invincible.
Yeah, so if you do this starting as Link, then you end up becoming invisible and invincible. So I'm right here. If I place a bomb on me, if I like carry it, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't hurt me at all. It's just completely invincible.
Yeah, there are variations of this as well.
Yeah, if
where
you do this,
can put poof back into Link.
Yeah, I could maybe show that quickly. Oh, I'm Invisible Bunny now. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
I
show
guess
that.
you need Yeah.
But yeah, if you
I guess you need another transition to be visible again.
If you start as the bunny before getting bunny beam, then you'll be you'll just turn back into regular Link, not invisible. So here I'm going to do another misslotting thing called Overworld Conveyor. So like in the Underworld, there's some rooms that have like conveyor belt floors, and there's like certain values that get set when you're on them that kind of just determine Link's movement. But on the Overworld, those don't exist, and we can use a weird misslotting application to basically set those conveyor values, and then because Overworld or conveyors don't exist in the Overworld, they never get unset while we're on the Overworld. So we have to misslot a bomb. I did that wrong. Let me reload that. It's a good question though. If Link turns into a bunny and nobody can see it, did it really happen? If I misslot a bomb and carry it and then get hit by a normal bomb, then I end up in this world conveyor state where I'm basically getting constantly pushed down like I'm on a conveyor belt. And this lets you do some weird things. So here's the funny thing you can do. I can like lift the rock, but not actually. Because
But you can explode it.
not in line with it. So, one thing is that while this does mainly work on the overworld, on the underworld, that's a really annoying spot for that dead rock too. On the underworld, it does get set as soon as you move, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clip into the wall a little bit, and then at that point, it's just going to carry me downwards. And as long as I messed it up, really. I hate these
Bonk from
things.
these bedrocks.
Okay. That's not good. Got out.
Alright, nice wiggle.
Okay, let's see if I can just do this. So, once I get in that clipping state, it'll just make me move through solid collision. As long as I'm facing up, I'll go in this entrance here. And then it'll loop me around the room from the top. And then if I pay attention to the music, I can know when to stop and get out of it. And then I'm in the upper room and I can just grab the heart piece. Pretty cool thing there. So we're gonna do one last thing here. Which I'm gonna go into Turtle Rock this time. And we're gonna go back into Plaid World. But we're gonna do something different this time. Gonna be...
World is my favorite world.
This time... we're gonna take a little trek over to Ice Palace instead of all the bosses that we fought before. And because of camera weirdness, I kinda have to take a specific route here, but it should hopefully not take too long. I don't know how much time I have left, but this is the last thing.
So there's a flashing lights warning coming up, I suppose.
Yeah, the end result of this is a bit of a flashing lights warning.
Plaid World is also weird because you can pull up some pots that turn into bushes that have magic and
Yeah,
where they're
for
not
some
supposed
reason,
to be.
like you don't collide with the walls and stuff, but you can pick up pots. I guess it's not based on collision. I need to scroll the screen.
Yeah, again, you have to have some particular movements to make sure you're not desynced.
Happen. Okay, I guess there's just collision there. I didn't know that. Alright, we're almost there, almost there. Okay. Don't transition upward there. So. Now at the room before Cold Stare. Before I do the thing, we're gonna go down here, we're gonna get some music. I need some music for this. So, while we don't have our normal collision with tiles, the tongue on these statues that you can pull is actually a sprite that's solid. So if I go over here and I transition back into the solid sprite, we're gonna get a little bit of a party going on here. This lasts for 18 minutes, and it's a soft lock. I can't open my menus or anything. I mean, it's not a soft lock, I guess, because... oh, I can tell it's absolutely obliterated the bitrate. I love it.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, I found this completely by accident.
That's amazing.
One of my favorite things. Anyway, that's...
This is...
yeah, sorry.
This is this is happening because the screen has a transition that's a fading transition, and it's not resolving because you're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Is that basically it?
That makes sense, actually. Yeah, but that's gonna be it for the glitch exhibition. Hope you enjoyed some of the silly side of Link to the Past and also the more serious side. Do you have any shoutouts you want to do?
No shoutouts, but both of us are on Twitch a lot. I'm CJitsallGewd, you're Glan. And
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Still working on this game for a little while because I have another run of it in another marathon in a couple of weeks. Yeah. Otherwise, I guess just shout out the Link to the Past community in general. We're all pretty great. Don't bite. If you like this game, if you want to play it normally, unlike me, that's how most people play. And yeah, keep donations rolling in. My good friend Glubber's running Echoes of Wisdom X.
Thank you guys so much for this showcase. It was great. Guys, stick around. We will be right back with the Echoes of Wisdom run featuring Glubbers.